How we doing?
Good.
Good, Tim.
Has anybody asked you a question yet?
Nope. Asked me who I want to win the World
Malik
Series.
Hooker the last several weeks, y'all have gotten him, seems like y'all have gotten him more involved in stopping the run. It may have just been the way things work, but especially when he came up and hit the Jazz Peavy on that little jet sweep at the start of the second half. He seems to have been a different guy enforcing the run, et cetera, because we always pictured him as this outfielder or center fielder playing center field now.
Sure.
What metamorphosis have you seen from him?
Well, I think it's just some alterations of scheme and some different things we're asking him to do. He's been a great tackler. I think if you remember what he did on kickoff team last year, which is really how he arrived on the scene. He's a very fast and physical football player. So getting him more involved in all phases of the game doesn't do anything but make us better.
But he shows he's capable, I guess.
There's no question. He's very capable.
Yeah.
Kerry, what's the biggest concern or thing that you're stressing most to kind of contain Tommy Armstrong this week?
Well, he's a very dynamic football player. He can run, he can throw, he scrambles, he does everything well. He's probably got the strongest arm of any of the quarterbacks we've seen so far this year. Very talented group of receivers, and so we know that we've got to do everything we can to try to contain him in the pocket, try to make sure we have on-body coverage, but then we also have to stop him when he runs the ball, and he's a very effective runner.
Hey, Kerry, when you watch him play and what you've seen on tape, he's improved this year, but he's thrown a lot of interceptions in his career. Do you find him to gamble at times, and how tough is it to defend when somebody who's willing to maybe take risks?
Well, I don't know about how tough it is to defend. He's going to throw the ball. You know, they've been sacked very few times. He's going to throw the ball. He's going to avoid the rush, and I think he has great confidence in his ability to make the throws. And that's what our guys need to understand. There's no play that's going to be over until the ball's on the ground or a player's on the ground. And I think he's a very explosive player and presents a lot of problems.
I can't think of his number, but Westerkamp is one of their prime receivers.
Number one.
Yeah, number one.
Yeah.
What just jumps out at you about him, and what's the challenge there?
Well, I mean, you know, he's a guy that gets open all the time. He finds himself in the right spaces. He's incredibly competitive, does a great job blocking, does a great job running routes, does a great job fitting in wherever needed. And I think they're roommates. I think that they have great chemistry, and I think that shows up on the field.
Hey, Kerry, they're one catch away from having 3 receivers in the top 36 of yards per reception. How are they doing that?
They're good receivers. It's a very, very talented group as a whole. They spread the ball around, so there's a lot of guys getting catches each week. Can't focus on one guy and say we try to take this guy away or that guy away, because they've got talent across the board. And so I think he does a great job of distributing balls. I think they've got a good offensive package that allows guys to get open in different places on the field.
Kerry, you have to stress that. I know you don't really concern yourself with such things, but Marshawn and Garyon both are being talked about as first-round talents. Would you like to brag at all about the development you've had for those guys?
No, I really don't. I love those 2 kids. I love the entire unit right now. I think the development at this position is extraordinary. I think it's because we've had great players here. You know, Bradley was AFC Defensive Player of the Week this week. Right. You know, Eli was back last week, and so we've got a really nice little progression going in our room, and those guys understand what it takes. They've seen what it takes, and they're just following the lead of others, and we've got a good group of guys.
And when you talk about people Bradley, probably expected Garyon to be there, but for Marshawn so quickly to be in, and I know the conversation is just conversation, for him to be regarded that way, did you expect that of him when he finally got the chance to play?
We knew when Marshawn was fully healthy he was going to be one of the better players around, and he's certainly proven that.
Kerry, what kind of conversations have you had with Damon Arnett? I mean, it was some growing pains last week, obviously going against a very tough receiver. How do you think he did? I mean, you saw the tape, we didn't. Right. And what did you say to him?
Well, we got to get better. You know, I mean, those are challenging throws and challenging positions for a guy to come in on 3rd down and play over and over again is a hard thing to do. He didn't have his best game. There's no doubt about that. He knows that. We know that. I've had a great conversation with him. I can tell you this: he will be better, and I'm looking forward to watching him play.
And how much of a test is this going to be this week, facing the same kind of receivers, or at least very good receivers?
Every week that you go out there and play nickel in college football is a test. He's going to be tested every week that he plays, and he'll pass the test.
The pro game now, I mean, it's like the program now. A lot of colleges are trying to get that slot guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
in the slot corner, I mean, that's what Bradley plays.
Right.
That's become, it used to be called nickel, now it's slot corner. Right. Those are corners that have to play man-to-man coverage. You have to play a lot of roles, and that's a critical position.
Hey, Kerry, you're like the Ohio State plant flagger. What did I say? The
Flag planter.
Thanks.
Plant.
I don't know that I have that official title, but I do like
in
to plant
Detroit.
those flags.
Wow. You do like to plant flags in Detroit.
Yes, I do. Well, everywhere.
You guys had a really good run up in that city. Not that it's over, but
Thanks.
At the beginning of the year, or at the beginning of your tenure, because Michigan was kind of down. I was just wondering, now that things have changed with Jim Harbaugh and some of the main high schools there probably have a bigger Michigan presence because of the success they're having, how it might have changed your feeling when you're up there. Is it harder? Is it different now that Michigan's doing what it's doing?
No difference. We're recruiting our socks off up there. We're going to get a few players every year for that state, and we're going to recruit really hard. They're doing a good job, but the previous staff was really good recruiters, and so we're going to work really hard in that state because it's geographically convenient. They play great football up there, and there'll be some players that'll make their way south.
Kerry,
see
you have
this-
such a deep foundation in the high school game. What do you think about the Big Ten playing games on Friday nights?
It's not my business. You know, I Friday nights are high school football in Ohio, and they have been for a long, long time. And those are decisions other people make, and that, you know, it is what it is.
Coach, you're going to be taking on an offense that rivals your offense in time of possession each week. So how important is it to get these guys off the field early, really put some pressure on their corners so the defensive line can go to work on a guy?
I don't
like
think
Tommy
there's any
Armstrong
question
Jr.?
that field position in games like this, time possession, field position, all those things are going to be critical. It's two really, really good teams, two top 10 teams playing in a big game in a big environment. So it's imperative that our defense wins first down, that we have as many 3 and outs as we can, get the ball back in the hands of our offense, play great special teams, give both our offense and defense great starting field position each time they go out there on the field. And that's been a focus all week for our group.
Kerry, can I ask one quickie? You see this guy from a different perspective as a coaching standpoint, but Noah Brown, what have you seen definitely improve about him from beginning of the year until now? Because you see him in practice. I mean,
well, the way we go about it in our practices between the corners and the receivers, it is a war every day.
Yeah.
You know, Mike Thomas and Eli Apple would almost be in fist fights. Well, Noah has kind of taken on the demeanor of the receiver group, and our guys are going to compete with him. We're going to play really hard, and I think it helps both of us on Saturday afternoons. So Noah, I think, at the top of his routes has really had tremendous improvement, snapping his routes off, getting his head around, getting the ball caught. He's got tremendous hands, but you got to be open, and he's done a great job at the top of routes, finding space and creating separation from the corners.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
sure.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, right. You guys have a great day.
You too.